Job done.
Yep. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say job done.
But it's for tonight. I mean,
it's for tonight.
The away goal, the draws.
Listen, when you look at the elements of tonight's game, and you know, Mourinho and the players would have just taken a draw tonight. And but I thought Rostov were there for the taking. To be fair, I really did, especially after United going 1-0 up. And but listen, they'll be ultra pleased. They'll be chuffed. They'll be glad to get out there and get back on that plan and get back to Old Trafford.
Rostov may have been there for the taking, but they're a hard team to take in those conditions, with that kind of pitch, the way they play football. It wasn't an easy night at all for Manchester
No, I don't think
United.
you can take apart any team in those type of conditions. You're going to have to slug it out, really. But Rostov, to be fair to them, they played better in the second half. You could say they deserved their goal. It was a fantastic goal as well. But no, Manchester United, it was all about them tonight. That was a great result, and barring any real accidents, that looks like them through to the quarterfinals.
It would be a miracle, wouldn't it, for Rostov to win at Old Trafford? We don't see miracles in European football these days. Right, we'll have a look at the goal in a moment, but first let's hear it from the goal scorer, Henrik Mkhitaryan with Des.
Now you take them back to Old Trafford.
Yeah, why not? Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
I can see the quality of the game excited him as much as it excited us. He will score harder, he will score more impressive goals, but the key thing with his strike, the away goal United wanted.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something that I particularly agree with. I think the away goal should be changed now. I think it's a nonsense that a goal can count for any more than one goal. However, it is what it is. It was a fantastic goal from Manchester United's point of view. Again, they spoke about going direct before the game. They did just that. Fellaini doing what he does best, fed it into Ibra, and it was a tap-in in the end. But you've got to be in those positions to score those.
What do you think, Paul?
No, I think the game plan worked perfectly. I think obviously it was a case of getting the right quality balls into people like Fellaini and Slets, and they got. I mean, there wasn't a lot of chances going on. Slets never a lot of chances, but that vital goal, stands them in good stead for Old Trafford. But I agree with Michael. I think all this away goal lark, I think they need to get rid of it.
But it encourages teams to go to a game like this and try and score a goal,
but I can
it?
understand in the group stages when there's 60,000 games, but I think when you come to knockout football, I don't like good teams going out on away goals. I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, I
just don't like it.
No, I don't like it. No, I think it's quite dated now, and I think gone are the days where teams just go out and try to defend away from home. It used to happen. Then you'd bring them back to Anfield or bring them back to Old Trafford and beat them at home. But I just don't think it's any relevance. I mean, last night, imagine it could have been 5-1, but Barcelona. What an unbelievable comeback! 5-5 on aggregate, and they go because one goal is worth double.
Yeah, you're right.
It goes against all what football's about. A goal should be a goal, not two.
Quite right. Right now, though, Jose Mourinho probably disagrees with you. Let's take a look at the 1-1. More frustrating, perhaps, for Jose than conceding the goal is the manner in which they conceded it.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be disappointed. I mean, I don't know why Danny Blin, who's the wing-back, sucked out there, and I mean, Phil Jones is not sure whether to stay with him, play him offside. Here, I mean, Fellaini's playing in the back three. As a midfield player, you need to be closer. Yeah. Because he's so far back, he can't make the distance. You then got Danny Blin, who then gets there, and the angle that his body is, he allows the ball to go over the top. That's the second mistake. And then, Phil Jones, I always say, if you're unsure about playing someone offside, stay with your man. Doesn't matter what happens, stay with your man. And what he does, he hesitates, and once he gets in there, back her off, it's a fantastic, cool, composed, finished, and I think Jose would be absolutely fuming.
Yeah, I bet. Let's talk about this pitch then. That was the conversation before the game. Here's a good stat for you. Manchester United's average pass accuracy in the Premier League, 85%. Tonight, down to 61%. It was an incredibly difficult pitch to play football on, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's all's been said really tonight. Obviously, the commentators to Jose Mourinho to Mkhitaryan, everyone's spoken about the pitch. It was a shocker, really. You expect a lot more at a high-level competition like this, and Ibra will be one of the main people who was angered by it because he tripped over, he slipped over, he had bubbles and all the rest of it. So it was not ideal, and I'm sure it'll be a far better surface in the next round.
Yeah, and to be fair, I mean, it wasn't just Man United. I think it was the same for Rostov. I think Rostov will enjoy going back to Old Trafford on a decent pitch, because I think they're a good team. I think they want to play good football. And I think today that kind of didn't do them any justice, as well as it didn't do Man United any justice. So I think, as much as we think it's a foregone conclusion, I don't think it is. I think they can go there and play football.
Do you think Rostov have got a shout of going to Old Trafford and getting a result to knock Man United out?
I'm not going to get a result, but I think they'll be a better team than what we've seen tonight, because they're on the better pitch. And I look at their team and analyse their team. I look like players who want to get the ball down and play football. And you know, I think it won't be as easy as everybody thinks.
OK, I wonder how easy Jose thinks it's going to be. Let's hear from him. He's with Des.
Jose, you predicted that would be about fight, not about playing the ball. You were proved correct. What do you make of that performance?
It was a very good performance in relation to the conditions. Impossible to play better. Impossible to have the ball. Impossible to play a passing game. So we played what the game demanded for us, and we played well. We made one defensive mistake. I don't think we can consider that goal with the movement in depth behind our defenders, but we cope with the intensity, with the aggressivity, with the direct game, and the result is what we could expect. An open result for the second leg with a little advantage for us.
We could see players unable to keep their feet, the ball bobbling. Should that kind of surface be in European football, or is it just part of the fun of the Europa League?
You know, I told before the game that I didn't want to go more and more and more. It's done, no injuries. The result is open to the second leg, and one more experience for every one of us, because our football life is full of experiences, and this is a new one for us. I remember as a kid some matches like this in Portugal, League Two, amateurs, a real fight. But to see my players doing this and coping with this and having the humility to fight and to fight for every ball and to fight for a good result is a good feeling for me.
You changed things at the back. You had 3 central defenders, 2 wing backs. How did you think that worked tonight?
I think it worked very well. The only problem was the goal, because I think playing against these 2 strikers, we were always in control. I had the feeling in the first half that everything was completely under control. I didn't see us concede the goal, and we did it. But they are like this. They are very direct. They don't use the wingers when the ball goes to the sides. It's just to put the ball in the box. So I think our 3 guys in the middle, they had a very positive game. Then the guys in midfield, they fought for second balls and they tried to give something in attack. We scored a goal in the first half. We could score another one in the second, and I knew that was not going to be a game full of goal-scoring opportunities. The good thing is that the result is open for the second leg. So a difficult match, but Old Trafford.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
He spoke very early, didn't he, about no injuries. I think that was really on his mind this evening. They've got Chelsea, of course, in the FA Cup coming up on Monday night. They're still fighting for the top 4 in the Premier League. They've got this competition to worry about. The last thing he wanted to do was leave here with 2 or 3 blokes crook, like happened at St Etienne, didn't it?
Yeah, and they've got Ibra going to be out for a few games as well, suspended, of course. So that's the last thing on your wish list, getting any injuries. They have got a huge squad, though. They've got a massive squad full of quality. So, but I think it really is job done. As you say, it was a good result in St Etienne, but marred by a couple of injuries and sending off. However, tonight I think it's almost perfect in terms of, unless you want to be very greedy, but it was a perfect result. Yeah, Paul's still not convinced. So let's talk about the fact that there are some suspensions now for Rostov to deal with, and not just suspensions to any old players either. Gatscan, the captain, and Kalachev, who had the assist this evening and was probably the best player on the pitch. Now, they came into this with 6 substitutes because their squad is so small. They can't afford to lose 2 key players ahead of going to Old Trafford. They just can't.
No, they can't. And I think, especially the one with Gatscan, I thought that was a little bit harsh. I thought it was a decent tackle on a horrendous pitch. He won the ball. And I don't think it wanted a yellow card. The second one, Kalachev, just being petulant.
Yeah, he threw the ball away. We didn't see it.
If you're going to get suspended for the next game, I'd rather go through Michael Owen, put me in Rose and go, OK.
Of course you would.
I'll miss the next match.
Get a proper yellow, is what you're saying.
Not throwing the ball away, and it's just pure petulance. And, look back at that now, they probably will struggle going to Old Trafford. But listen, it is what it is, and it'd still be a tough game for Man United.
Always used to say, didn't you? No, don't waste your booking. If you're going to get booked, you might as well get booked for kicking someone.
He didn't waste many of them. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, how frustrating a job was that for him this evening? Because maybe he didn't enjoy the conditions or the opponents or the weather, but he didn't look a happy chap, did he?
Well, centre-forwards get, all the plaudits, obviously, a lot of the time. And of course, sometimes when you're away in Europe, it can be a thankless task as well. Tonight wasn't really Zlatan's night. He didn't have a bad game. It was just, nothing really fell for him. He was always falling away from that. He slipped a few times, the ball bobbled a few times. It just wasn't really his night, but I don't think he played poorly at all. I thought he did fine, led the line, used his strength. I think it was just a solid away game. And as I say, when you're a centre forward, sometimes you especially away in Europe, sometimes you've just got to get through it, do your job. You're not going to score a hat-trick every game, and that was probably one of those.
And of course they've got to deal without him when they play Chelsea in the Cup on Monday night. And we said this before, didn't we? For Zlatan to have played as many games as he has, this is like a blessing in disguise. It's an enforced layoff they've got to deal with, and he needs a bit of a break, I think.
Yes, I don't think Slats would say he needs a break because he wants to play every game, but it might be a blessing in disguise. I don't think so personally. I think, with them pushing for fourth in the table, they need people like Slats because they're not getting a lot of goals from anywhere else. But it gives an opportunity for maybe a Martial. We keep talking about Rashford.
Yeah.
Where does he play? Can he play up front? We've got Wayne Rooney to come back in. So, as Michael says, there's enough quality and enough strength in depth for the bench for him to come in.
Well, that's a big game on Monday. Cup quarter-final away at Chelsea. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time this evening.